Good afternoon. My name is Dr. McGowan, along with Dr. Vicki Tinnon. We are the mentors for Kaitlin Rayburn, who one of our geography students in the Department of Chemistry and Geosciences. She's worked with me in the past looking at aspects of human geography related to pop culture, especially video games. In this case, she's going to take a little different approach, looking at the usage of Viking culture and pop culture as well, and just kind of how that has been manifested in different forms of pop culture.
I'm sure we've all heard of Vikings. They are a hardy, alcohol-drinking, warmongering, Odin-loving people. They are people with a proud history, rich culture, as well as they are broadly stretched geographically. Their presence is classified as being Nordic, which means they are descended from a specific people and are present in a very specific region. This region, actually. Like any powerful culture, they are not hidden from the interpretation and respectful eye of pop culture. Hello, my name is Kaitlin Rayburn, a geographer and pop culture-loving human being. Medias of entertainment are what my research projects tend to focus on, and this project is no different. I wanted to examine different sides of the spectrum in terms of Vikings and how they're portrayed. One portrays Vikings as heroes, and the other as villains. To start off, I decided to focus on How to Train Your Dragon 2. This movie is a playground of geographic concepts filled with cartography, biogeography, and ultimately Viking culture. The protagonist, Hiccup, is the only son of the mighty Stoic the Vast, who is the protector of the island of Berk. They live in harmony with dragons, thanks to Hiccup, and now he has the opportunity to map out the islands surrounding where he lives. Ultimately, it's cartography that guides him into finding his long-lost mother, who is thought to be dead for 20 years. She's been living with dragons and learning about them and mapping out the region. Upon their reunion, she shows him the map she has made for herself. Accuracy-wise with our planet, I can only distinctly say I can identify Iceland. I tried my hardest to identify other continents around it to possibly more pinpoint the location, but no. I can't properly line up the coast of Greenland or Norway, nor could I properly place the United Kingdom. Even reversed, it seems that these writers took a creative liberty in creating a geography to this strange Nordic region, most probably to highlight the voyaging aspect of Viking culture. How to Train Your Dragon 2 shows and portrays Vikings in a romantic lens. They are heroes with pure hearts that do not fight wars needlessly, but only when they want to protect their own. They are explorers, or at least Hiccup and his mother Valka are, and they yearn to have an understanding with nature, not unlike the naturalist Andrew von Humboldt. In this movie, unfortunately, Stoic the Vast dies heroically in battle, sacrificing himself so his son could live. Falling in battle calls for a special death ritual. This movie goes on to show us. May the Valkyries welcome you and lead you through Odin's great battlefield. May they sing your name with love and fury, so that we may hear it rise from the depths of Valhalla, so that we may know you have taken your rightful place at the table of kings. For a great man has fallen, a warrior, a chief, a father, a friend. As was tradition with Vikings who fell in battle, they were sent off to sea on a boat. Those who survived would say this prayer and use arrows to set the boat aflame. Their research is solid on Viking culture, having their mythology present, their ancient language and culture accurate, death rituals, and even marriage ceremonies. In this movie, they are heroes. They can do no wrong and will always come out victorious. But not all medias would agree on this front. There are two sides to every story. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a video game that released in 2017. When first starting out, you float in seeing Senua on a boat, having voyaged from her homeland to the land of her enemies, the Northmen. She hears voices in her head that either guide her to see something or terrorize her because of how she's feeling. You, the player, are a new voice in this ensemble who has come to find and to guide Senua on her journey. The narrator, the most prevalent voice, tells you piece by piece who Senua was and who she is. It is revealed slowly over time that Senua is not a Viking, which I originally thought in my first run-through of the game because of how she's dressed, but is in fact a Celtic-picked warrior who is trying to save her dead lover. We do not know how he died, not at first. only that she wants to save him. Her quest is to delve in the depths of the Northman's afterlife to get back his soul and to restore his body. What caught me was how they refer to the Vikings, the Northmen. I wouldn't come to fully realize that she was picked until a ghost appeared, a soul she knew in life, Druth. He told tales of how he was once a scholar and traveled north to speak with the Northmen because he spoke their language to negotiate peace. But they took him as a slave and laughed at his efforts. Through his horrors, we learn about the Northmen. His Celtic knots were burned from his skin to destroy his learning and their stories as he was taken as a slave. We learn about their mythology as they try to assimilate him. Senua must learn to read the Northmen's language to unlock gates to get closer to hell. She must learn about their gods who have supposedly killed her own, so she can come to learn how to kill Hela, the queen of Helheim. While she traverses this strange Northland, she must unlock these gates by finding the rune assigned to it. Runes are important to this tale because they are the language of the Northmen, and she must come to understand their meanings. There are stones etched with a giant wheel, a key to understanding their language, but each of these stones are colored with blood. When she finds the rune, she unlocks these gates, and an evil guardian tries to stop her from getting to hell. The Northman guardians are portrayed as evil spirits, being shrouded in mist or completely blackened. The further in the story we get, we come to a land that appears bleak and cold. Vikings in this story are vicious conquerors with no mercy or heart. They murder women and children, and those they take as slaves are stripped of their identities and worked so hard until they lose their minds. Senua's village was attacked by these savage Vikings, and her beloved, Dillion, was the only warrior to defend them. He and the rest of the village were murdered. After the battle, his corpse was strung up in a circle, almost as if to say to those passing by that no one was safe from Viking rule. It isn't uncommon in wars for the dead of the enemy to be openly disrespected, and the Vikings are no different in this scenario. Merciless, cruel, flaunting the death of a beloved warrior without a chance of a proper burial. Not much is known about Pict death rituals, but what I was able to find is that the stones are etched with special symbols, possibly to commemorate the ones who have died, or to possibly tell his or her story. With only Senua left from her village to take on such a task, one she had probably never been taught to do before, her mind scrambled to try to make sense of what had happened. Her beloved died at the hands of the Northmen, therefore his soul must be in their afterlife, hell. Vikings in this story are often associated with fire, blackness, shadows, and screams. Towns they touch are covered with their runes and are burnt to the ground or rotten to the core, just like Senua sees them. Senua, from a storytelling perspective, has come to accept that there are no evil Norse spirits attacking her. Her beloved cannot be brought back from the dead by delving into the depths of Norse's hell to save his soul. There is no Hela to fight and to hate for taking the soul of one she had lost. He was a victim of foes who are ruthless with killing and will get what they want no matter how merciless the means are to do so. In this tale, Vikings are evil. They invade lands and make them sick. They hunt down those different from themselves, and they take slaves to break them of spirit and assimilate them into their own society by force. One region, two stories, who have inherently geographical plots stemming from the same culture but told differently to inspire or to strike fear and pity. Pop culture tells these tales through geography without most people seeing it, and all you have to do to find it is look. Thank you. Question, comment, complaints? Oh.
Let's thank our speaker.